All right, good morning, everybody. Last time we were in class, we talked about section 6.1 with mitosis and meiosis. Today we're going to talk about meiosis a little bit more in depth and how our key concept is during meiosis, diploid cells undergo two divisions that result in haploid cells. Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we get started? All right. So, cells go through two rounds of meiosis. Now let's go back and reflect on or activate our prior learning. What happens in mitosis?
The cells split.
The what?
The cells split.
The cells split. What kind of cells are made in mitosis? Diploids. Diploid cells. What kind of cells are diploid cells? Body cells. Okay? And then in meiosis, what kind of cells are made in meiosis? Haploid cells. Okay? So, very good. So, in meiosis, it basically goes through mitosis twice, right? Let's also talk about what are the phases of mitosis. What do you have before mitosis even starts? Interphase. Okay? And what are the stages of interphase? Say it loud. Gap 1, synthesis, gap 2, and then we go into mitosis. What are the steps of mitosis? Y'all can say it louder. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. That's right. And then what happens after telophase? No, it starts with a C. Cytokinesis. There you go. Good. All right. So, meiosis reduces chromosome numbers and creates genetic diversity. How do you think it creates genetic diversity? Very good. It brings the two from both parents together. That's very good. So it brings the chromosome from the mother and the father. They join together, and you get genetic diversity. All right, here we have this little graph. So, whereas mitosis is going to produce two identical daughter cells, meiosis is going to produce genetically unique cells, which are sex cells, if we remember that. It results in haploid cells. It takes place at certain times in an organism's life cycle, and it is involved in sexual reproduction. Now, do we remember how many chromosomes does the body have? 22 that are going to be, just going to talk about your genetics and everything. That 23rd chromosome, it's going to determine sex. Okay? Your 22 chromosomes, total of 23. 22 are going to be what you look like, what you sound like, all those things like that. The 23rd is going to determine your sex. And what did we say that what does the mother always get? What is the mother's two chromosomes? XX. What is the father's? XY. Okay, what is the mother always going to give? An X. What is the father always going to give? X or a Y. So, depending on whether that father passes an X, we would have a female. If it passes a Y, we would have a male. Okay? So it is the father that determines the sex of the child. Alright, has everybody got this? Alright, here we go. Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 each have 4 phases, similar to those in mitosis. Let's say them again. PMAP, what are they? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Very good. Alright, pairs of homologous chromosomes separate in meiosis 1. What does homologous mean? It's the same. Okay? It's the same. Same type of chromosomes are going to separate in meiosis 1. Now, why do they have to separate when we have 2 copies? If what are we making in meiosis 1? Body cell or sex cell? Body cell. Okay, so if we're making a body cell, and these cells, so it starts off as one cell, it has 2 copies, horrible drawing of the chromosomes, I might add. It has 2 copies of the chromosome. Why is that? Well, what happens in meiosis? They split, so each one of them has to retain a copy of the chromosome. When they split, it becomes 2 new cells. Homologous chromosomes are similar but not identical. Why would they be similar but not identical? Where's each one coming from? Huh? I'm saying, where did the chromosome come from? The parents, right. So they're going to be similar, but they're not going to be completely identical, okay? Because you have some from your mom and some from your dad. Sister chromatids divide in meiosis 2. Now let's go back to the parts of a chromosome. Draw one. Well, we'll draw it better than that. What is this part of the chromosome? Does anybody remember? Starts with a C. It's where they connect. No, that's chromatids are 1/2 of. If we were to split that in half, each one of these is going to be a chromatid. Centromere, there we go. Good. Centromere is right there. Okay? And then if we separate them in half, chromatid, right there and right there. Okay? Very good. Alright, sister chromatids are copies of the same chromosome. Okay, so if we have that chromosome that's together and then they split into 2, it's going to have copies of the same chromosome. Right here, we can see homologous chromosomes right there, and then the chromatids are the 1/2 of the chromosome. Everybody got that? All right, let's go. All right, meiosis 1 occurs after DNA has been replicated. Okay? So meiosis 1 occurs after DNA has been replicated. And what part of interphase is the DNA replicated? Y'all just told me a second ago. What part of interphase is that DNA replicated? Somebody just said it. Say it loud. Synthesis. Very good. That happens in interphase to prepare the cell for division. So that DNA replication occurs in synthesis. Meiosis 1 divides homologous chromosomes in 4 phases. What are the phases? Let me go back. What are the phases? We're going to say it again. We've said it like 3 times already. We're going to say it again. Y'all are going to dream about PMAT. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. There we go. So right here, meiosis 1 divides homologous chromosomes. You have prophase 1, where the nuclear membrane breaks down. The centrosomes and the centrioles begin to move, and spindle fibers start to assemble. So basically what's happening is these duplicated chromosomes condense, homologous chromosomes begin to pair up. Then we have metaphase 1. These spindle fibers here are going to align. Okay? And then along the cell equator. And then each side of the equator has chromosomes from both parents. Right here, that's when these homologous chromosomes are going to separate. Okay? And you see the centrioles at each end. Spindle fibers right here. And sister chromatids remain attached. And finally, in telophase 1, the spindle fiber is disassembled, and the cell undergoes cytokinesis, which is the end of cell division. Okay? Y'all don't have to write down what's in the graphic as long as you understand what the different. You can make little notes on prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Good. Good. Okay, well this is where we're going to stop for the day, and we'll pick up this tomorrow. So good job today, class. Y'all are very engaged, and I appreciate that. And we will learn more about meiosis tomorrow. All right.